I've now covered 2 Rabbids games on this channel, Rayman Raving Rabbids 2 being a huge part of my childhood, probably bigger than Garden Warfare 2 in terms of importance. It's just Garden Warfare 2 I have a lot more to say about, and there's just, a lot more hours in that game. Rayman Raving Rabbids 2 on the other hand, that was like one of the first games I ever played repeatedly, so it just means a lot more to me. Then this year I covered Rabbids Party of Legends, where I predicted Red and Sonic Crossworlds. This game just didn't try that hard at all, and a lot of the minigames are copied from Mario Party or other Rabbids games, most notably Rayman Raving Rabbids 2 and this game I'm covering today, Rayman Rabbids TV Party. I should mention I also have nostalgic ties to this game too, just not as strong as the other game we covered, aka Rayman Raving Rabbids 2. I also find it funny that this is the 3rd Rabbids game I'm talking about and it's the 3rd entry into the Rayman Raving Rabbids series. That's just funny. But is it any good? To find out, let's dive deep into the controller and play Rayman Rabbids TV Party. This game was the last Rabbids game to have Rayman in the title, and yeah, this game makes that perfectly clear. Like, he's only in a story that's just non-existent. Like, it's just Rayman in a cabin and Rabbids just annoy him. There's no story. It's kind of sad, actually. You can just really feel Ubisoft giving less of a crap about Mr. Tonic Trouble over here, and it's a shame as in Rayman Raving Rabbids 2 I liked the story. Rayman was this lone force facing the Rabbids on their journey to rule the Earth. It was cool, and they did fun stuff with it, like Rayman dressing up as a Rabbid, or shooting Rabbids in IRL shooter sections. Here though, it just feels like Rayman is only here through some franchise obligation, which, let's be honest, didn't really exist to begin with because they dumped him in Travel in Time anyway. Hey look, my old profile icon's Louise's hat from Bob's Burgers. Hello, I'm Plushport and I'm a flying fart. For this review, I'll look at everything through the story mode, as there's not really side content here. There's basically just this and picking a minigame to play in 2-player or 4-player or whatever the hell. While admittedly the story is non-existent and Rayman here just is used in a pretty crap way, I do kind of love how this story mode is set up. So you have days of the week and 2-hour time blocks you need to fill by playing minigames. To successfully collect one, you need to do well enough in the minigame to get at least 10,000 points. If you fail to do so, you can move on, but that time block doesn't count towards your progress. You see, you need a total of a certain number to unlock a new day, and that can be through the current day or any previous day. So yeah, you basically do need to do well in these minigames to progress. The points do feel way better handled in this game in comparison to Rayman Raving Rabbids 2. In that game, yeah, you had to get 12,000 points to get the costume of that minigame, but it felt like it was really inconsistent whether getting that score would be too easy, too hard, whatever else. Here though, it does feel like the score system was built around the things you need to unlock, like for example the cosmetics you can get, and also, of course, the 10,000 points you need to progress. I also love how if you have another profile, their own high scores appear on the minigames. That's really cute. And oh yeah, going back to that, you can also collect cosmetics by doing extremely well in minigames. Unlike Rayman Raving Rabbids 2 where you could use them wherever you want, in this game, your cosmetics are all only for a Roblox Design It As minigame. Like, wow, I can only use a feature in previous games in one minigame, and even then, you're told how to do it a certain way, and even then, the minigame kinda sucks. On top of that, the clothing also just don't look as good in this game compared to the previous one. One thing I do love though is how these time blocks do feel like they are different TV shows across different stations. All of them being under a network called RRR. I'm gonna guess that movie isn't as good as this game. This game just does a lot with the TV theme, like these entirely made up channel names and logos with custom animations before minigames. There's the fact that what channel the minigame is on, that determines a lot of what the minigame could be about. There's the use of licensed music like actual TV shows tend to do. The pop culture references and junk make a lot more sense here, as, movie and TV show references make more sense in a TV themed game than a vacation themed one. They even reused the Jackass parody Rabbids from Rayman Raving Rabbids 2, it just fits more here. I also love the animation and jokes before minigames, whether they be in this cute 2D style or just with the 3D models. I also gotta say, as much as I don't like the minigame itself that much, the Star Wars opening animation being a Star Wars title crawl with just blah made me laugh audibly. I really like that. I also just really like the fact that there are minigames within different TV channels that feel like different TV shows. I also love that if you pick the same minigame or a similar enough minigame under the same channel, it does feel like a different episode of that same show. The prime example has to be on Cult Films, where on Monday my first minigame I chose was this shooter game where you need to shoot the Rabbids in chicken outfits who are trying to take over the production, which is this scary zombie movie. Okay, interesting concept. Also, the mix of zombie Rabbids and chicken Rabbids just makes me think of Chicken Jockey. Now, that on its own would be a fun minigame, especially with a free act structure emulating a TV show or movie. But then, in the next time slot, if you pick this exact same channel, you get part 2 to this story in the first minigame. That is so cool. Like, yeah, no one's really here for the Rabbid lore of these random ass movies they made up. But like, come on. It makes you actually feel you are watching episodes to a TV show. I love that. On top of that, part 1 actually ended on a cliffhanger. It really adds to that feel of you playing through TV shows. I love this. I really do think this is really cool. Only thing is though, because this is like, each block is 2 hours, that means that this one story was 4 hours long. I just find that kind of interesting. I mean, that's not like totally unheard of now, but for the time, wow, that's crazy. I mean, it could also be that these are just 2 hour long movies, and one's like part 1 and one's part 2. Rabid Zombies Part 1 is better than Across the Spider-Verse. Also, these shooter minigames with the film production aspects to them just really reminded me of that new movie coming out, Minions and Monsters. And like, to be honest, that movie looks so good. I'll watch it over Toy Story 5 easy. Like, wow. I love fiction that revolves around making a movie. I don't know what it is, but I just really like that. Unless it's casting of Frank Stone, that game was a disappointment. Fuck you, Supermassive. You fumbled the bag. And it's still better than the Until Dawn movie. I also love that the shooter minigames I used as an example here have different themes like sci-fi or noir too. It helps with the variety, and the Rabbids even dress up in different costumes to try to take over the production. The Cult TV channel also has other fun minigames like this Godzilla first person minigame. It actually reminds me of this one bit in Luigi's Mansion 3 where you have to pretend to be a kaiju as Luigi. It's funny. Only difference is, the Rabbids are chaotic, Luigi needs protection at all costs. There's also plenty of other TV stuff, another heavy one being sports, which makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of sports channels out there. This was also an excuse for Ubisoft to test how many times they could reuse the same character models. Like, damn, this professional wrestler also has a workout routine. Looking at that belly, the workout routine can't be that effective. Wait a minute, the hand minigame from Rabbids Party of Legends copied this minigame. Like, it's exactly the same. In terms of sports stuff, there's also these really damn fun speed mini-games where you have to slide down and go through the gates. It's very good. You can even do tricks and pretend that a Rabbids playable in Sonic Crossworlds. Don't look at me like that. They're definitely going to do a second season pass. It'll happen. Also, screw it. Throw K-pop Demon Hunters in there as well, why not? Because that's been huge since it came out, and that would be so cool to see. Also, Huntrix meeting Miku would be nice, and the fan art of that would be so cool. With the TV theme, the game also has a really unique gimmick where you can have ad breaks, but instead of a shit one like actual TV in this game, it's a very simple WarioWare style micro game. Winning it awards you with a small boost that's usually clear on what it does, but then other times it doesn't really help much. This can be things like speed boosts or more specific boosts that have to be tailored around specific minigames. One example is this minigame here where you have to collect Rabbids and fly in the air, which is basically Rabbid human trafficking, but then if you win the ad, then you get 5 more out of nowhere. And of course there is more minigames you aren't seeing, as I just didn't choose those during the campaign, like a prison escape one. But hey, there's this one where a Rabbid's in a lottery ball costume and you bounce around getting coins inside a lottery ball rolling machine. How did they even get that idea? Speaking of gambling, there's this betting racing minigame which sucks, and it gives specific players advantages if you vote on them and you bet on who loses for some reason. It's a complete mess, it's poorly designed. There's also, of course, the returning music minigames, which are split into 2 categories now. One is literally the same playstyle from Rayman Raving Rabbids 2, just without the other random motions, but then they also don't have the songs as Rabbids covers, they're just the regular ass songs. If I wanted to listen to Born to Be Wild, I would just listen to Born to Be Wild. Banger song by the way though, and if I wanted to listen to Toxic, I'd play Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Also, giving Rabbids regular ass voices, Ubisoft would never do that. Ignore the copy of Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope floating around on the screen right now, that's totally unrelated to this situation, I assure you. Wait, I have the game digitally. That ain't my copy. We then have dance minigames, which also have great license song picks. One example is Soul Boss Nova, which really made me want to draw a Rabbid cosplaying as Austin Powers. The interesting thing about this dance game though is, I shit you not, this minigame is what inspired Just Dance. That is not a joke. And I find that kind of crazy. Like, yeah, Just Dance wouldn't have existed without the Rabbids. How is that a sentence I get the pleasure of stating? I'm not complaining, I just find that wild. Maybe one day Just Dance will have a character added to Brawlhalla. Make it the Panda Dude. There isn't any side content though, it's just playing through the minigames on their own or the short campaign. It does annoy me how, as the game goes on, there becomes less and less you can pick from. That's actually a very big complaint, that sucks. Overall, while not as good as what came before, this game is still very fun, and I recommend picking up a controller and playing Rayman Rabbids TV Party.